Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Local Service Podcast, episode 14, I believe. Today we have Big Camera Guy, who is a videographer here in Houston, Texas. I think you've been doing it now for 3-4 years.
4 years full time.
4 years full time. And
about 4.5, 5 altogether.
And we're going to go through his journey. And of course, we're all about how people can get more, how businesses can get more customers. So whether you're a freelancer, a photographer, a videographer, a dental practice, a roofing company, we want to find how someone gets clients, whether it's online, whether it's word of mouth. All these different strategies with all these different industries is what makes this valuable, I think. And but typically I like to ask like how you got started, how'd you get into the video space. I personally know Mike, that's his real name, for like, I don't know, 20 years. Yeah. And I gotta say, it's a bit of a surprise, you know, to go from oil to what you do now. But anyways, I'll let you kind of tell the story. You know, graduated high school, you did what, and how did you get into?
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, no, back to what you're saying. It's a surprise for me as well still. But basically, graduated high school, had no college plans, maybe did a semester, blah, blah, blah. Went into what I kind of know best, what my family, my dad does and stuff, and what a lot of friends were doing, just going to the oil business. And I basically thought I was going to be here the rest of my life. And I was like, all right, well, making pretty good money, and I'm 20 years old, and I'm making more money than any of my friends. So I'm like thinking I'm living. So 20 to 28, I'm doing the same shit. And by like, you know, the 6th, 7th year, I'm getting burned out. I'm tired of it. I'm just like, dude, this cannot be the rest of my life. I'm seeing all these older guys in there. And no offense to them. You know, I'm seeing all these older guys in there, and they're miserable. They're 50, and they're just they just show up to work. They're always complaining and bitching. I'm just like, dude, this can't be it. Anyway, so I kind of started. I used to own a GoPro, and when Instagram first started popping off, I used to always see those GoPro videos, and I was just like obsessed with it. And I was like, damn, I want to learn how to make that. Like, those are so dope. And then me and him, we used to always make a bunch of like funny, goofy videos growing up as well.
We
so
did
it's like
make videos like that.
A lot. We always had a camera with me, but not knowing that was going to be like my future. So anyway, so I kind of had a GoPro with me everywhere I went, and I would make like cool little goofy videos or just fun videos, travel videos, stuff like that. And then it wasn't until I got hired by a friend's mom. She owned a doctor's office, and she was like, hey, I need you to create a video for my office.
So how did that happen?
So it was...
Why would they hire you? And did you know you were getting hired?
No, I did not know I was getting hired. So this was just me when I still didn't... I was not Big Camera Guy. I was just had my regular social, and I would always post my videos, and everyone would always message me like, oh, man, your videos are so cool, blah, blah, blah. Friend's mom just reached out like, hey, my mom's looking for someone to create a video. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. Like, for free. I mean, I'm still... So I showed up to the doctor's office, and I had my camera, and I had a GoPro on top of my head. And then she's like, and I was like, okay. And I had a stick. And all I said to myself was like, because she said she was going to pay me. And I was like, oh, shoot. Like, in my mind, I don't know what I'm doing. But I was like, all right, just pretend like I know what I'm doing, and we'll go from there. Man, I set up these scenes with my phone, and I'm like, had this GoPro on my head and walking around trying to act like it's like like I'm a first person walking into a doctor's office. Anyways, video was awful, but she loved it. And she actually paid me $1,000. She goes, I want 3 more of these. And then I just kind of looked at her like, oh, shoot. So with that $1,000, I went and bought a camera. And then that's pretty much where it kicked off from there.
So, okay,
and,
so you're still working at that company.
So I'm still working at FMC. And then for the next year, I'm dabbling with this camera, learning it, and going to work, 5 a.m. to like 5 p.m., 12-hour shifts.
So how did you get your initial batch of customers? Like, how did you go from, yes, you got that one, that stemmed from your social media.
Yeah.
So you did good work or good enough work for people to notice it and say, I want this guy to do my work. So that's one route. How did you get more?
So it was when I first started, I still was posting everything on my personal page, and I didn't branch out to another page until maybe a couple months. But anyway, so once I created the second page And I just started posting more content, doing content for myself, creating just anything I get my hands on. I had a lot of friends that had businesses at the time. Red, who was just on here, I was creating a lot of gym videos for him. And that's pretty much what got me in the door. And I feel like that gets every first creator in the door. Gym video. Everyone wants a gym video. Go to Alpha Elite. If you're just starting, go to Alpha Elite, go to Alpha Land or whatever it is. And just go in there and be like, hey, I'm a creator just starting off. Let me shoot you. Everyone's going to love a free gym edit or
so
pictures.
So it's like low-hanging fruit
to
exactly. Get experience.
It's a best way to get in and best way to learn. So that's what I did. The first, 6 months, I was just doing workout videos with Red and then other gyms. And then other gyms started picking me up.
Still for free.
Still for free or $50 or lunch, whatever. I just was just trying to learn as much as I can. And then I would film like my friends' parties. So I would do like party videos, and then just I guess word of mouth has basically been my bread and butter since the jump. I'm a real personable person, so everyone would always be like, oh man, I know this guy Mike, he's really good, blah blah blah. So then the gym content started. I was still working at FMC doing both, and then I started getting into real estate. One of the clients that was that I filmed, she was also a bodybuilder, but she also did real estate. So I started filming her real estate houses, and then I got in with these other 2 real estate agents, and then started doing that for about 6 months, still working back and forth, working from 5 to 5, get off, go shoot from 6:30 to 7. I mean 6:30 to 8 or whatever, however much sunlight we had. Come home, edit the videos, turn them in. Like, it was just nonstop work for the first year because I was doing both. And then I reached out. I got into weddings because I reached out to my cousin. She was getting married. I was like, hey, let me do this wedding for you.
So you reached out.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting because nobody asked you to do a wedding.
Nobody asked me to do anything when I started. I reached out to everybody.
And then
once I reached out to everybody, that's when I would get more clients.
So you were salesperson Mike.
I was very aggressive when I started. I was very annoying.
What was your approach? Like, what was the specific? Because you don't have to just do this in videography.
Yeah.
Like, for me, I kind of did the same thing. Like, who needs help with the website? Who needs help with the Google Ads? I will do it for free, or we can work out some kind of deal. What was your approach? Was it just?
It was pretty much the same message to everybody. Hey man, my name's Mike. I go by Big Camera Guy. I'm a new videographer here in Houston. I would love if you give me an opportunity to shoot you. I won't charge you. I'm just still learning, so I need the more practice, the better. Everyone said yes. Who would turn down a free video? And so, I mean, I did that across the board, like celebrities, artists, athletes, drama.
Do you know you could tell us.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. What do you know what the ratio is? Just like a ballpark, like for out of every 100, or if you did 100, I'll do it for free. Like, what response would you get? That would want
depending on their following, but it was usually about 85. Like, usually everybody said yes, but then I started being really particular on who I was asking. Okay. I was like, all right, I wanted to level up. I didn't just reach out to everybody, but people I wanted to work with to showcase my work, so I can get hired by other brands and other people.
So it was strategic.
Yeah,
you weren't just doing every single thing. You were like, okay, I would do this for free because A, the experience, but B, if more people in that world want my work.
Goes on my portfolio. That's all I kept saying. Like, I want to get into weddings. Did a wedding. Goes on my portfolio. Went on every wedding blog and blasted that shit. And I got so much hate for it.
What do you mean blasted? Blogs.
So basically, I created my cousin's video, and then for free. And then I went to all these Facebook wedding groups, and I went to these Instagram wedding groups and coordinators, and I was like, hey, I'm a new videographer. I want to get into the wedding scene. Boom, here's my first video. I'm only charging $300.
Are you still at FMC?
Yes, I'm still at FMC. I haven't quit yet. And I'm only charging, X amount of dollars. And, I got ate alive by other wedding people who are in the industry.
You're ruining this industry.
Yes, bro. And I'm just like, and at that time, I was like this ignorant ass punk. And I'm talking shit back to these people like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, man, who the fuck do you think you are messaging me? Mind your business and stuff. But
it's a free world.
Yeah. And so, like, I mean, at the time I didn't know. Now I understand. I understand completely where they're coming from. So I apologize if I was very rude to you, a couple years ago. But
you have to break in. Like,
yeah, I mean, that's the only way.
Yeah, you can't just skip the steps. Because if you were to charge whatever you charge now, let's just say $4,000 for a wedding, like, A, it's gonna be much harder to close because you don't feel the confidence to do it, and B, when you do close it and you give them a really bad product, you're damaging your reputation,
100%.
and then you're building a bad portfolio.
That's
people
what
are gonna talk.
That's the main thing I kept telling them. I was like, how did you get started? Like, what did you do to get started? Weren't you doing stuff for free? Yeah, but blah, 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 blah. I wasn't doing it like this. I'm like, what does it matter to you? Like, let me. So anyways, so I ended up booking like 10 weddings in like 2 days.
Are you serious?
But I was not aware of how to book clients. So I was booking weddings like years in advance. And these brides were like, "Oh, I don't have a date yet, but I would love to book you, like lock you down." I'm like, "Sure." 300, like I was just boom, 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 and I was just like, "Damn, I just made like 3 racks like in 2 days. This is crazy." Little did I know, it's 2021 and I'm still doing $300 weddings.
Because they took.
Yes, because I didn't know at the time not to book 2-3 years in advance. It's like, so now I book 6 months to a year, and that's it.
So if they didn't have a date, it could be 2 years, 3 years, 4 years later. You're still waiting on something.
I'm still waiting because at the time I just didn't know, right? Or like even some brides were like, at this time it was 2018, so they're like, "Oh, my wedding's January 2020." I'm like, "All right, cool, cool. Year and a half, 2 years from now, like, all right."
Is it typically always brides that do the coordination?
it's usually the brides or the wedding coordinators will reach out to me, but so yeah, that's kind of pretty much how I got in the wedding world, and yeah, so I'm just putting yourself out there, reaching out to clients, and then same thing. Any industry I wanted to get in, I did it by reaching out to people I feel like I could connect with, and then using them. We use each other. I'm using them for content for myself to put on my portfolio. They're using me to create. I mean, they're using me for my own content, whatever. So that's all across the board. Music scene. Reached out to a band. Same spiel. Just getting started. I want to get in the music scene. How did you reach out? Same way. Instagram, DM. Hey, my name is Mike. New videographer. I really want to get in the music scene. Let me shoot y'all show for free. Cool. Come out. Boom. Shot their show. Delivered the next day. Everything's cool. And then I would just be like, "Oh, let's keep in touch. You know, if you're back in Texas, let me know." You know, they came back to Texas. I didn't even ask them. I just showed up. And they were like, "Oh, shit." And it was South by Southwest. And I was like, "Yo, I'm going to shoot y'all show all week." And they're like, "All right, cool." So I was with them that whole week.
For free?
For free. All for free. The first year.
Are you still at FMC?
No, sorry. Damn, I've missed a whole chunk. August 2018, after doing it was like 9 months since I bought that first camera, I finally decided to quit because I felt I wasn't making the same amount, but I felt it would free up 12 hours of my day to practice, learn, and reach out and get more clients. So I was like, I was making enough to pay my bills with just the real estate clients alone and the gym edits. But in my mind, I was like, okay, if I quit, that's 12 hours out of my day. I could be reaching out to clients or like learning, practicing, doing anything else but be here fucking turning wrenches. And
you had enough samples, like it works.
Yeah.
If I reach out enough, someone will book me and someone will refer me in this field.
Exactly. I had and when I quit, I looked at my portfolio. I was like, okay, I have gym, I have real estate, I have weddings. That is more than enough for me to make a living. If I quit my job, that's more than enough to reach out to other companies and be like, hey, this is what I can offer you. And then obviously I was already getting emails and everything from random jobs, but I was always having to say no because I'm like, man, I work those hours.
Yes.
So I was saying no a lot because I was unable to.
They needed you at
they needed
10
me at like
a.m.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, shoot, I still have a job. So I was actually putting a cap on myself for the longest. And then once I quit, it just like fucking blew up and like word to mouth. And I just like, I'm very friendly. I know a lot of people. So like once I announced that I quit my job and pursue this full time, I had a lot of support from a lot of people that I knew.
Yeah. And I kind of do want to like point that out. Like, even if you're not yet a business or have your own business, like people being just a good person and being around, like just doing good in the world wherever you are always it will come back.
Yeah.
Like you were doing stuff for people and friendly and all that. And when it was your turn to be like, hey, I'm doing this if anybody needs help.
It's a lot of support.
I like Mike.
Yeah.
I want to support him. Whereas, you know, if you're mean and rude and you don't show up and you don't bring a good energy into the world, like people aren't going to want to work with you.
I'm not working with that guy.
Because sometimes, like, I have clients on Symphony Advertising side that it's like, hey, I don't understand why people don't want to use my business. And it's like, well, because you're not the nicest person.
Damn.
It could be good value service. It could be a good price. But, like, when they come in and use your chiropractor, people see you as, this is not a place I want to be in.
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, what do I say? Change your attitude. It's not a marketing thing anymore.
100%.
It's a service thing. So that's just, I think that's a good way to live life. Like, be a good person.
That's the biggest thing I learned when I first started was I was so confused when I first started, and this might be like the self-sabotage in me. It was, why are these people booking me? Like, I don't understand why so many people want my work. And then I quickly realized, like, a lot of people are going to hire you, obviously, because of the quality of work, but they're going to hire you because of the person that you are. And so that's what I started noticing more. Like, I'm getting these word of mouth because, oh man, like he's good. And also, he's a cool ass dude and he's great to work with. He's easy to work with.
It's honestly a competitive advantage.
Yeah. It really is. And like a lot of artists, creators reach out to me like, how did you do this? How did you do that? Like, how do I get in this scene, that scene? I'm just like, dude, honestly, just be cool. Don't be a fucking weirdo. Just be cool. Don't like.
Do you have examples of like that, like of things you should not be?
A fucking groupie. Taking pictures with celebrities that you work with, giving them merch, like shit like that. Like, don't be like when I just always pretend like you've been there and you've been around because I work with a lot of athletes and I've worked with a lot of athletes and I currently work with some athletes and I've worked with around celebrities and stuff. And it's just pretend like you've been there before because the minute they feel uncomfortable because they're like, man, this dude's kind of like latching on to me and they're not gonna fuck with you. They're gonna be like, this dude's weird. Like,
so in a sense, be professional.
100%. Be professional. I worked with PJ Tucker over COVID for like 6 months, and I was bringing in people because I was giving people opportunities. Hey man, you want to help out? This is a big job. First thing I told him, don't be taking pictures with him. Don't like, you could talk to him, have small talk, but just don't be fucking weird, right? Don't be like, oh, bro, I'm your biggest fan. Like, you know what I mean? Just be like, oh, hey, what's up? How's it going? First thing this dude did, hey, man, you can sign this shirt for me. Like,
because he's there to work, right?
Yes,
like,
he was there to work. He was
there to film. Signing.
Yes, and then PJ looked at me. I'm like, fuck, my bad, bro. Like, my bad. Because they want to show up to a place where everyone's professional. They don't want to show up to a place where
they get that everywhere else.
Yeah, exactly. So, where was I going with that?
I don't know, but okay. So great. So one question I have.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Being a personal. I mean, that's what we're talking about.
Yes.
Service versus being a likable person. I guess that's what we're going. I forgot. Okay, go ahead.
All right.
Next
so
subject.
I would like to ask you, strategy wise, marketing wise, you decided to be Mike, but you also decided to be big camera guy, and at some point you created the account and you built a brand based off of that. What was the thought process behind that? Is there an advantage to doing that? Is there what have you learned, and what are the pros and cons?
I feel like I'm living a double life sometimes. No, seriously, I feel like I have two egos because a lot of people who know me as big camera guy, I feel like I have a whole different life before you even met me as this person. But big camera guy.
When you introduce yourself, how do you introduce yourself?
I introduce as Mike, but people usually like, oh, this is a big camera guy, and I'm like, oh, what's up, I'm Mike. So it's like I already have that like reputation for my work that people know me as my Instagram handle already, which is still kind of crazy to me, but it's also super cool. But it's just separating your personal life and your business life. No one wants to go to a business page and see a bunch of pictures of you and your dog, you and your girl, you on vacation. Obviously, they want to see a little bit like building a personal brand. They want to see and get to know you a little bit more. They don't want to only see
80 weddings.
Yes,
you know?
But also there's like a fine line of like, what do you post personally on here versus business, right? So a lot of like people who know me as big camera guy don't even like I said, they have no idea about my personal life because I never bring it up. I choose not to. I don't know. I just try to keep it professional. I don't want it to get too personal with them. But
does it help like close more business because you have that, or would it not make a difference? Like if Mike was closing the deal, is that different than big camera guy closing the deal?
No, I mean, they see my work as, I think they see my page. They're like, oh, that this is, so they see my stuff originally. I mean, from the first glance, it's like, oh, that's big camera guy. But then once they start talking and emailing me, that's when
it's Mike.
Mike comes out, and like I'm the personable person. They're like, oh man, I like this guy. Like I want to work with him. So,
do you get most of your inquiries through big camera guy or through Mike?
Yeah, no, it's all big camera guy. Everything's through them. All my inquiries and business stuff is all through big camera guy. Mike is just my straight personal.
It's
page.
super
personal that I've had since Instagram first started. So that don't follow me.
You'll never follow him because he has the ridiculous amount of ease in the handle. Don't say how many it is because then you'll get found.
Nah, but yeah, no. So the big camera guy page, that's a straight business only.
Have you ever had any situation where like people know you, like big camera guy?
Yes, it's very strange. Even when I go out of town, when I'm I mean, even here, when I'm here in Houston, I'm walking around like, oh dude, you're a big camera guy.
That's weird how that happens.
It's so weird. It's dope though. I really appreciate it. And it's like, I was with O'Shea last weekend, and we're walking to Target parking lot, and some guy just comes up to me like, hey man, I'm a big fan of your work. Keep grinding. I'm like, fuck, that's great. Like he just saw me from across. He saw me from across the parking lot. I walked over here just to tell me that. So I'm very grateful. It's very cool. And it's just dope, man. Like when I was in Vegas last year, I was doing a boxing show, and I was backstage editing, and like the head of marketing of Matchroom Boxing was like, you're a big camera guy, right? Oh, dude, I follow you. I love your stuff. And I'm like, shit, bro, you run all this. Like, what's up? Like, I was like, yeah, man. Yeah. He's like, hey, man, you're allowed. You can shoot anything you want. Like, if anyone gives you issues, tell them you're here with me. You're working for me. I was like, all right.
I guess that's a testament to like you never know who's gonna see your work.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, not just the work, but your reels, your pictures, like anything you put out there can end up in who knows.
Yeah, that's definitely another thing that I grown to realize. Like at first, maybe like the first 2 years, obviously the growing pains, and if I didn't like a job, I'd be like pissed off I would be like annoyed doing it. I'm like, no one's gonna fucking see this. Like, who cares? This is just a boring like doctor's video or a dentist video, right? I was doing a lot of dentist videos for some reason when I first started. But like you said, you never know who's going to watch it. And there's been times where I've gotten jobs off doing those little small videos that are way bigger than that, right? Or you never know who they know. Oh man, I have this guy who does crazy good work, and he's a good guy. You should check him out. And that job they're referring me to may be something that I want to get into. You know what I'm saying? So you never know who's watching. You never know who's looking at your stuff. You never know who's sharing your stuff. So just always try to be like spot on and A1 on all your work.
That's awesome. Okay, so now I have questions on how do you personally handle, or business-wise, how do you handle the inflow of work? So obviously weddings come and go.
Yeah.
They're all kind of like project based, like you come, you do it, and then it ends. So how do you manage, like, if you have 10 people reaching out a month or whatever, like how do you know which one to pick? How do you do that process?
This is the process that I'm trying to. I was talking to you
because it's 4 years, right?
Yeah. And before I was talking to Oscar about this. Like the last three and a half years, I've had my creator hat on, and I was strictly a creator and wasn't learning the business side of this industry. And just recently, I have been taking off my creator hat and becoming more of a thinking like a businessman. Because right now, and like the way I'm doing it, you shouldn't do it. Because right now, it's just strictly.
That's to get to step one.
Yeah.
Like you have to. I feel like you have to go through those motions.
True.
Before you can put your business hat on, or not.
Because right now it's just all word of mouth. DMs and emails flooded, and I kind of just pick and choose what I want to work on. And,
which is not the worst thing.
It's not, and I'm actually very lucky that I have an opportunity to do that. But I want a better system in place, and that's something I'm learning, and that's something I kind of always avoided because I've always been like, oh, I'm just a photographer, I'm just a videographer. Like, what do I really need to learn this stuff for? But 4 years in.
So yeah, why do you want to improve that?
I want to become, because I don't want to be creating my whole life. I don't want to just be doing these shoots.
So it's all an evolution.
Yeah.
So there's another step.
Yeah, 100%.
There's another level you want to get to.
And I don't want to be doing these shooting every day for the rest of my life or for the next 10, 20 years. I want to eventually start a production company and use the connections and monetize everything that I've learned and all the connects that I've made and relationships and build a team around me. That's the ultimate goal. That's the new ultimate goal. So
what's interesting about it is that I take it that from your previous experience, you probably you can go down the same route you've gone, which is, hey, I just started a production company.
Yes.
I love to shoot your documentary.
Yep. And that's, I mean, I still do that. Honestly, I still reach out if I really want to work on a project that I'm like very passionate about, or work on or photograph someone that I'm like, oh, I like their look. Like, hey, we should shoot sometimes. Like, I still reach out. I still do stuff for free. Like, even to this day, if it's something that I feel like it'll benefit me in the long run, or if it'll truly help them, or it's like a growing process thing, I'll do it for free. If I believe in the person or believe in the product.
Like if I have family members that are getting started with something, let me help you out.
No, 100%.
And if there's like a trade-off or something, like,
yeah.
And it doesn't always work out.
No.
Sometimes it ends up being a bad decision, but
yeah, it is
you take the dubs with the L's. I do want to ask now a little bit is like, so you've worked with some high profile people.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say is like the route of doing that? Like, for instance,
how to get to that?
If your goal is just to reach, and I think it's a very how you throw that ball in the machine, and then it has all those pegs, and it's like going like this, and it's going all the way down, and it might fall in the right hole.
Yeah,
I have a feeling like listening to your story, like that's what it is.
No, dude,
keep shooting.
It surprises the hell out of me every time. I'm like, when I'm working with a high level guy, I'm always like, how the fuck did I get here?
Can you trace back though? Can you trace back like for instance, can you think of a high profile person you've worked with, and can you see what you did and find the root of that? Because it stems from somewhere. Someone who referred
I'll say
it.
My first high profile client was PJ Tucker, and when he was with the Rockets, and like pretty much the prime of his career. And how did he find me? His management team. I was getting followed by one of his managers, and I think it just goes back to producing great work. Obviously, it starts there. Work speaks for itself, kind of thing. Let me see. I'm trying to think. So but the way that happened was, once again, just you never know who you know. Back to that saying. One of his managers, I was a good friend with the manager's business partner.
You were friends?
I was friends with the manager's business partner. That they were okay. So PJ Tucker's manager, his name was Brandon. I was good friends with Brandon's business partner, Kiera. So
just sheer luck.
Yeah. So she reached out to me. Hey, this is what we're starting. How do you feel about this? Like, oh, absolutely, right. And that kind of but then it kind of starts from like, hey, I love your work. I love what you do. And I obviously because
they're not. She's not gonna just be referring anybody.
Yeah,
they have to see a scope of work. Like, what is the pedigree of this stuff? Like, if they constantly see good work, if they constantly have a good relationship, then it's like, you know what, this is the guy for that job. We were talking about something when people personable. We had a quick break. Personable, PJ Tucker.
How did I get to high level athletes? I mean, high level clients, or how does one get to high level?
Yes.
Yeah. Is that what we were talking about?
We were something about that, but in between the break, you were saying how the Congo thing.
Yeah, so I started. I mean, kind of goes back to gym stuff again. I wanted to work for high level athletes. This gym brand named Congo, I saw them working with all the Texans and James Harden and Andre Johnson and all these big name athletes. And I did the same thing. Reached out to them. Hey, this is what I can do for you. This is some of my work. I think I would be a great asset for you guys, and I could help you guys out a lot. And that's kind of where everything kind of took off, because the content I was creating for them, I would use for myself, and people would see that and be like, "Oh man, you're working for this. You're working for this person." And they saw that, and that kind of goes back to working for PJ. His business partner saw who I've worked for, so he's like, "Okay, he's been in industry, so yeah, let's hire him." And so that's how that kind of played out. But it's kind of like, and then there's and then the same thing, like there's gyms all around Houston that train high level athletes from all over the NFL. Like a lot of people come to Houston. And there's also those gyms are always looking for content. And these are opportunities that you should take by reaching out to the gym owner and telling them. They're always willing. Even our gym, we have people reach out to me and reach out to the gym, and we're all like, yeah, come through. It's free. Like it's free. It's good for you. It's good for like if the content's good, we'll use it. If not, you have free content. So.
It's very low risk.
Yeah, it's no risk. There's nothing wrong with it. So I think like if you're a person starting out, I think that's your best route to do if you want to get into that industry. Because at the end of the day, they get the content and you get the content. And for someone who doesn't even know what you did and you present it to XYZ, like, damn, you work for James Harden? Shit, he probably charges a lot.
Yeah, that's true. No, yeah. I didn't think of that.
So like that's basically everyone assumes because I've worked for these people that I'm charging thousands of dollars for a photo shoot. And I'm just like, man, I try to be budget friendly to like everybody.
It's your service.
I want to be able to work with especially if I like you. I'm like, okay, I'm really going to try to help you out as much as I can.
So I have some questions. So you're a videographer, photographer, but in a way, or in all the ways, you're also a marketer because you're creating content for businesses to use, brands to use, athletes to use. They're not just showing them working out, or they're not just showing this is my dental clinic, or they're not just showing this is my rock climbing gym.
Yeah.
The purpose of the video is to help tell a story, to help people come through the door. So I guess I want to get a little bit into like your actual content. Like, how do you go about creating content for some of these businesses specifically? If you could,
I can strategize.
Yes.
Okay.
So
like for athletes, it's all about how do I work for a fighter right now. He has an upcoming fight. It's all about how can I get sponsorships for this next upcoming fight. Obviously, brands you need to be a likable person for a brand to want to sponsor you and stuff. So this upcoming camp, we're getting real personal with him. Before it was all boxing. I'm a killer. I'm the best at 140. I'll fuck anybody up. And he's just like, it was very aggressive. And like everything that we posted was him smashing on heavy bags and messing up people in the gym. This approach, we're taking it a little bit more family friendly. We're gonna go kind of more of his personal life. He's from New Orleans. He likes to feed gators. He likes to go to swamps. He has 4 kids. He speaks Portuguese, Spanish, English, French. Like, you know what I mean? So we're getting more personal so brands can reach out and be like, man, I like this guy. Like, I want him to be part of our team. So that's the approach that we're going towards for him. And it's just every company, I kind of ask them, like, what's your goal out of this? Like, what do you want to achieve out of this? Oh, I just want to showcase my gym, or I want to showcase my office. So I kind of start there, and we just kind of just create content based on what I feel like is best for them.
So you do create content based off of their goals?
Yeah.
Because nobody really hires you if they don't have an idea of what they want to happen, right?
100%.
Because that would be like, why are you paying us for then?
And then like a big thing with, obviously with, what is it called? Like services-based companies, testimonials are like the money. I pitch testimonials so much. Hey man, you you really should get a testimonial for your company. You know, I charge this much, but all you need is, you know, 2 bookings off this person. And
I love that sales
off.
process, by the way.
Yeah.
That is like the exact way to reason with a price. It's like, hey, I know it's $1,000, but off of this 1,000, you should make 5.
100%.
Like,
and a better way that I've learned to a better way I just learned maybe like a couple months ago, and I've been using it, is don't say the final amount. Break it up into increments.
Monthly payments.
Hey, 3 installments of $1,000 will get you all this content. If you're like, hey, all this is gonna be 3,000, they're gonna be like, God dang,
I need
like,
3,000 up front.
Yeah, and it's like, nah, I'll do 3 installments of 1,000. They're more willing to be like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, let's get it started. It just sounds more more
digestible.
Yeah, it just sounds better because then they just pay that 1,000 here, 1,000 next month, and by that first 1,000, hey, if they booked 10 clients, and that 1,000 is paid off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So by the next time the next month comes, they're like, oh yeah, here, boom, here's the next 1,000. So that's something I just started learning to do, and it's been working. So that's a very
effective
tip.
thing.
That's very effective.
Cool.
And letting them know the value they're going to get out of the product. That's a big thing too. That's another thing I just learned.
And so I guess what are some of the like highlights that you feel have done well as far as your content? Like do you have the testimonial thing for local services? Do you think that is something like if any local service could create video content, like what would you recommend them do?
Oh, testimonials. It's a video Google ad. It's a visual ad. I mean, it's a visual Google review, right? Everyone leaves Google reviews, so why not have same thing in testimonials so someone can actually watch and be like, oh, wow, like, it can relate a little bit. Like, damn, I had that same issue. Chiropractor. Chiropractor. Oh, my right leg was numb for years, and I blah, blah, blah. I went to them, and now I'm fine. You know what I'm saying? It's like someone's like, oh, man, my right leg's kind of numb, too.
What do you think is, like, the appropriate number of video testimonials on a website?
3.
It's okay. It's not even that crazy.
No.
It's like you
don't want 10. No one's going to go through 10.
You want 3 happy customers. You hire a videographer, or if you really want to budget friendly it, bust out an iPhone.
Dude, but yes. TikTok, I mean, you could even do iPhone. Like, all you need is great lighting like this, a tripod. No one wants to watch a video like this. And you're doing a testimonial, and you're just, no one wants to put it on a tripod, get a nice light, $60, get a tripod, a light stand, and you have a whole video production for less than $100. And all you got to do is good story.
Do you have a preference on like where people post your videos once you're done with the content? Or like
that's another thing I usually ask them to, like, oh, where's this going? Because if they tell me it's going for the website, I create it totally different. I create it as someone's going to a website looking for this. If it's for Instagram, I make it a little bit more flashier. Needs to get their attention. So it just depends. I ask them where they want to post it, but then I always recommend, oh, you should post it on your social, or you should post it on, your Instagram, or if you have TikTok, you should post it this way on your TikTok. I do recommend ways to post, but usually majority of the time it's Instagram.
You ever had any videos like blow up? Personal or for business?
I mean, yeah, I've a lot of the athlete stuff. A lot of the athlete stuff blew up.
Yeah, didn't you have some video that
DeAndre Hopkins off-season video got like almost a million views. Same thing with like PJ Tucker. Like a lot of my athlete stuff does really, really well. Personal stuff, messing around with the drone, doing like people love drone videos.
It wasn't, but it was because there was a horrible hurricane.
Yeah, so my first viral video before, I don't even think viral videos was like
a term
yet. Was like 2017 during the hurricane. Wasn't even doing video production. I was still doing it for fun. I flew my drone in the middle of the hurricane and got all this crazy flood footage, and it kind of went a little crazy. That was like my first, like, oh shoot, like everyone's sharing this.
With that, that's crazy.
Yeah.
With that though, like, I feel like doing video and photography is like a little bit daring sometimes. So for instance, yesterday you did a proposal thing. Like you kind of have to hide.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like, is it true that you need to be a little bit daring or like a little bit adventurous to be able to do that type of work?
You have to not care what people are gonna think and how they view you, or you gotta not care. You gotta bend the rules a little bit, respectfully, right?
Yeah.
Respectfully. All like you're gonna because there's gonna be times where someone's gonna tell you, hey, you can't go here, but you're like, I need to get this shot and I need to get in this situation. So soften them up a little bit, or get it without, like, you know what I'm saying? You have to bend the rules very, very.
You don't want to break the law,
yeah,
per
exactly.
se.
But also, like, you gotta not care about being in people's way. About
if you listen to where it says like don't fly a drone here, like how you would have lost out on a lot, right?
100%. You're technically not supposed to fly your drone in Houston over to downtown skyline, and I'm always flying. You know what I mean? There's just so many rules you're not supposed to be doing, but
you got to break them sometimes.
You got to break them sometimes, and it's just like even when I first started touring, when I first started touring with that band Drama, didn't want to get in the fans' ways because I was like, I don't want to ruin the experience for them. So I wasn't getting the shots I was supposed to get, and I would get bitched out by the client. Hey man, what is this? Like, why are you just to the side the whole time? And I'm like, dude, I don't want to get in their way. Like, man, like, get what you need. Like, we hire you because you're supposed to get, these shots and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, it's all a learning experience, right? And so now I'm like, oh, I'm on stage next to her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm getting what I have to get. And same thing goes for any situation.
Do you get used to like having that type of thick skin? Like, is it way easier now to kind of?
Oh, it's 100% easier. It took a while. It does take a while because it's like you're nervous because you don't want to get in trouble, right? Or you don't want to get bitched at, or you don't want to be like, you don't want someone to be like, hey, get out of my way, or like someone mad at you, right? And so it took a while for me just to get over it and get over myself and to be like, oh, who cares? Like, we're moving on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get this shot. I'm gonna move. You're gonna go right back to having fun. But yeah, definitely have to bend the rules a little bit. Definitely don't have to care what people think. And I mean, like, street photography is a big one too. Taking pictures of strangers. That's when I gained a lot of my courage myself, walking down the street and then keep walking. You know what I'm saying? Like, or taking pictures of like just anybody around the city doing anything.
I feel like that's a helpful exercise though. Not even if you're not
getting over the fear.
Even if you're not a photographer, like with your phone, like if I were to do that, like I feel like it would have helped me just not like work on like, for instance, I'll give you an example. So I talked to Red the other day, who's a gym owner, and he knows a gym owner of the gym I go to. And I wanted to tell this gym owner, him like, hey, do you know Red? And he's going to know him because I know he knows him. But that'll open a door for me
100%.
just to build a relationship. I'm not trying
100%.
to sell him nothing or nothing. Like,
All about relationships.
I just want to let him know, like, hey, I know a guy you know. That's it. Mm-hmm. But I don't do it. I didn't do it. Every time I go to the gym, I'm like, I should really tell him. And so I think to your point, like little things like that, because you almost damn near don't have a filter, like sometimes.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of more your personality, but you've also worked on it. But yeah, like I don't know who he knows.
Yeah.
I don't know what that could lead to, and it could lead to nothing. It's not about really getting anything out of it, but it doesn't hurt to know another person.
It's so funny. Just building a new relationship is so funny because it starts with, oh, hey, I know so and so, and then it's hey, what's up, bro? Seeing you every day, and like, hey, man, how was that lift? And then it's like, oh, man, what's up? How was your weekend? And then it just goes from there. Next thing you know, like, hey, bro, we should get some drinks sometime.
So I imagine that happens a lot.
Yeah, it does happen a lot. I build a lot of great relationships with people I know.
But it's literally, do a lot of them come from being at the gyms? I feel like you were at one point always at the gym.
At one point it did, and then once I started doing other things, I built more relationships around the country from touring. Getting really close with publications and marketing directors of festivals, like getting on their good side, tour managers, being friendly, being respectful, like being polite, not being an asshole. Really goes a long way. I even have people in Germany that I'm really close with because I did one job for them, and I keep up with them. Keeping up with people is a big thing
I was gonna say you do have like I don't know. I guess it's an internal clock.
Yeah.
And you probably have like I should probably see what they're up to.
Yeah. It's just checking in. Yeah, it's just a check in, and like it's not even like people overthink the process of, oh man, but then I'm gonna have to sit there and talk to them the whole time. It's just like, nah, you just, hey, what's up? How's it going? cool. Everything good? Business is good? All right, cool. That's it. And then it just puts a reminder of it like refreshes their memory of you in their head.
And it adds to your likability.
Yeah.
I think you do it naturally. I don't think you're trying to.
I do really do it now. I'm just a very empathetic, sensitive person.
You're not like gaming the system. You're not like a psychopath trying
I'm
to.
just generally like, hey, how's everything going, man?
But for someone, because there's a lot of people that feel they're bugging people, you know, and it's people with businesses, like, especially for the sales side. Sometimes, like some people, like I work with some people that I know, they would rather just not respond, like not follow up with the email or a call because they feel that they're bugging that person.
Oh, damn.
And I mean, they're decent businesses. Like it's not like they're suffering because of it, but like it's okay. Like it's okay to ask twice, 3 times.
That kind of goes back to the fear of like failure, or the fear of getting like rejected. Like just get over yourself, whatever.
And it actually feels good.
Yeah.
Like I feel like at least cross that bridge, and then if you are rejected, then you did it. It's still a close. Like I personally like closing the loop. Whether it's a good thing or bad thing, like just close it. Like I just want to move on.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like getting over yourself. Getting like, who cares what they think? Stop the overthinking. I'm bugging them, shit like that. It's once you get past that and then just keep practicing on it, it's just everything just flows so much easier, and then you stop fearing so much of rejection. You stop fearing so much of reaching out to people. Then you eventually start talking to everybody like on a daily basis, like introducing yourself to everyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can only imagine that saying hello and hi is just a good way of living.
Man, I actually like talk to a lot of people that I talk to a lot of strangers. I don't know what it is about me, bro. I'm just like, I'll be out at the grocery store next to this lady or a man. I'm like, oh, how's your day going, man? How about these apples, right? You know, hey, have a good day. You know what I mean? It's just like that little moment could have, if they're feeling low or if they're feeling high, that little moment. I mean, because think about it, a lot of people don't talk to anybody, right? Unless you know them. So a random person like, oh, hey, I like your shoes. Oh, shoot.
Yeah, they'll remember that.
Yeah, they'll be like, damn, man, this guy the other day told me he liked my shoes. You know what I mean? So that's just something that I've
it's a way of living. It sounds like
it's I don't do it sometimes like on purpose. It just kind of just happens.
So personality. So we are closing in on the last 12-ish minutes. I want to go one more direction and then we'll wrap it up.
Fire questions.
So let's talk a little bit about like the negative. So like, have you been in a situation where you had to cancel a project, where you had to say it was a deal that was closed, I talk in that term, and you have to be like, wait a minute, I shouldn't be doing this. Like, what is your process when you find yourself in too deep and you're like, what do I do?
Literally my first 2 years of my job was pissing a lot of people off because I spoke too soon, or I'm very impulsive. I said yes before I even knew what the project was about. Next thing, or I gave them a wrong price and they're like wanting changes, and it just became a small $500 video turned into 100 hours worth of work because they're wanting so much changes. And at the time, you know, I didn't do it right. I would just blow them off. But professionally now, at the time, yeah, I would, hey man, I don't think we should work together. Like, this is getting out of control. I said this, and this is it. Like, this is that. Like,
that's how you did it initially.
That's how I used to do it. Or I would just kind of like go, like stop her. I would give them their product, but if they wanted more stuff, I would be like, I'm not doing that. And
you're done.
But I wouldn't say anything.
You considered it done, and you're like, I was that's like, your thing.
This is your issue. I shouldn't have to. This is what we agreed to, and I shouldn't have to continuing things because you're uncomfortable about yourself in that video, or you're uncomfortable about certain situations. Like, it's not my problem.
Right.
But now, because before I didn't view myself as customer service.
I see.
And at the end of the day, I still am customer service. It should be an experience working with me.
Nice.
So now I switch my mindset up and like, okay, what can I do to make you happy? But at the same time, you know, these are some of the fees, and these are some, like, I'm down to, yeah, we can do all that. You want this, you want this, you want this. Okay, but this is how much it's going to cost. And then if you approach it that way, they'll be like, okay, maybe, you know, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah.
And I think, I think with experience, you are able to do that, because you got to have that confidence to be like, well, yes, I can fix this, or I can change this, but this is outside of our initial agreement. It'll be X amount. Are you cool with that?
Yeah.
And it's a middle ground. Like you're not being stomped on and you're not just
Yeah.
ghosting them. It's okay, we can figure this out
Yeah.
approach.
And usually they'll just okay, it's all good. Like don't worry about it. But yeah, the first 2 years, when I first started, I didn't even know how to write an email. I would write emails like I was texting, and it was awful. And I didn't know how to do.
Did you do like full blocks? Did you do like you wrote a paragraph, enter paragraph? Yeah. Did you do that?
No, I didn't even do that. I would literally write like I was multiple emails like I was texting. I would send an email and I would write something, send it. Like, oh shoot, I forgot to say that. And then I would follow up with another email. It's it's an AIM chat, like it's a chat room.
Oh wow.
I didn't know how to do anything, and that's why the first 2 years were good creatively because I learned a lot. But I also like pissed a lot of people off. I was very unprofessional just because I didn't know. But I'm happy I went through that because now
you
I
have
learned.
to go through that.
I learned, and that's kind of like man, I always feel like if I can fucking get out of that, and if I was able to learn all this and create like a whole business for myself, I feel like anybody can, because I literally didn't know how to do anything, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna take this camera and just film some stuff, and hopefully people pay me, and hopefully people pay me on time, and hopefully people pay me right. And I didn't get paid a lot sometimes. Sometimes I didn't get paid. Like I would send the invoice and they just ghost me.
Are you serious?
And I'm like, oh, okay.
There's another one.
I'm like, damn, that's like the third client this week. Because I wasn't taken serious. Like, man, this dude.
Okay, like
you know what I'm saying?
I could just.
They would take advantage of me because I would just like be very unprofessional, and people see through it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm glad those days are over.
Oh hell yeah!
And you're in the next phase now. And trying to, your goal of doing a production company. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Any like I don't know what the word vision or dream job you'd like to do with that.
Yeah. So the production company is going to be based all around, basically, those like old school, 24 HBO 24/7. It's all going to be boxing.
Oh, okay.
So basically, I've made so many relationships, and I really enjoy doing boxing because, man, a lot of these guys, like the industry is dirty. The industry is so dirty, and a lot of these fighters, we have 3 of the top fighters in the world at a certain weight class here in Houston, but no one knows about them because they don't market themselves correctly, because they don't have the content, and just because they're their best, don't mean they're going to get the best fights.
Right.
So like. Once I started seeing that, I'm like, dude, something needs to like change. So I've kind of been, brainstorming the last year, learning, being in gyms. And now, so the goal is to be able to create packages and create packages that I can offer to these fighters that are low level or any level. Right. High level, I have like, 3-4 different packages. Low level guys, you get, this much. But the goal is to be able to showcase them during camp at their skills at their best, and like get them known in the eye, and hopefully I can grow the brand enough where like these low level fighters, I say low level not skill wise, low level on like
they're just not on the map.
Yeah, they're not on the map. I'm hoping that I can be able to get these guys and blow them up by shooting their camps and by marketing them with what I've learned the past couple of years. So that's the goal. That's the goal, to help everyone out across the board. Obviously, the bigger guys who already have a name, they usually just want like brand sponsorships. These lower guys are like, yo, I just need to follow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I just need people to follow me. Like how can I get people to follow me? So that's the goal, to start a whole production team, and it'll be all to create like content through their camps. Like everyone, the behind the scenes basically of their camp, everyday life, diet, exercise, stuff like that. And
sounds really cool.
Yeah, so it's gonna be dope. I'm excited. I'm already doing it right now personally, solo. I'm on my second camp, so this one's gonna be another learning process. So hopefully the next one I'll have another person or a team. So
awesome, man.
Then I'll be comfortable to start pitching. Then it goes back to pitching. I'm gonna have to go back to what I started in the beginning, just pitch. So we'll see how it goes, but that's the goal right now.
Nice, good vision. Yeah. Best of luck. Cool. So I think this is a good place to wrap up the interview. Anything you want to say, where they can find you, if they want to book you or not? I know you're a busy dude.
No. You can find me at Big Camera Guy HOU. It's not Big Camera Guy Hugh. Hugh is for Houston. Big Camera Guy was taken. Everyone's so confused about that. Anyways, at Big Camera Guy HOU, shoot me a DM. You can email me. Got some questions? You need, anything? You're just starting out. Hit me up. I'm down to help. I'm always down to help other creators. But
cool, man. What things are coming on?
Episode.
I think 14.
Episode 14. We out here. Let's go.